3.
Hello everyone, I'd like to welcome you to Faith and Yoga at St. Bartholomew's. I'm here with my husband Fred, Aaron Porter, and Glenn Gobrecht, and we're ready to start today's yoga practice. Last time we filmed the yoga practice, we focused on nature, and we're going to continue that through the end of April. And today we're focusing on gathering nature's energy. Have you ever thought about that? How to gather nature's energy? Once, like always, I always do some back reading on interesting things, and I came across this, that our God has designed our bodies basically to operate as a battery. Have you ever thought about that? You all know what batteries are like. Some batteries last longer than others. Some of them, especially cell phone batteries, you better be sure that you have them charged overnight so you're ready to go the next day. Well, think of yourself as a battery, unique and designed by God. So how do we get nature's energy to store into our battery? Well, we gather fuel through the air that we breathe. So we're going to start right now by doing some breathing exercises. So I invite you to find yourself in a comfortable position, whatever feels most comfortable to you. I also found out this week when we take a deep breath in and let our chest expand, the expansions measures up to 1.5 inches. Wow. I realized that the chest expands, but I didn't really ever put a number to it before. So it's important to use that fuel to expand your chest as well. So we're going to do the breath on the count of 4, breathing in for a count of 4, holding for a count of 4, and then exhaling for 4, for a cycle of 5. I'll count you through the first, and you continue through, and we'll meet together after 5. Thinking of this breath as fuel for your body. Breathing in through the nose, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Holding with stillness, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling through the nose, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's do that for 4 more times at your own pace. We'll meet together. Maybe most of you have finished and we'll meet at the same place. Just doing that quietly for that 4 or 5 cycles of 4 seconds circulates new air through your body. We're going to do some more breathing, and for the month of May, we're going to be using a hula hoop. So if you don't have a hula hoop at home, I would ask you to purchase one. You can find one maybe in your garage. Maybe you can borrow one of the grandchildren's hula hoops, or maybe you can go to Dollar Tree or Five Below. At Dollar Tree, you can find a basic hoop for $1. That's surprising. If you go to Five Below, you'll get a little bit of an upgrade of a hoop, and they come in different sizes there. These are ones that I bought at Five Below, and they were $2. So pretty still a good deal for a hula hoop. So I gifted my yogis here with their own hula hoops. So if they would get them, we're going to just do a little bit of a breathing exercise with the hula hoop. We're going to hold it, the hula hoop, just so your hoop meets you like below your chest here, below the breast area. Hands down by your side, and take a breath in and lift your hula hoop up. And then back down as you exhale. Lifting up. And back down. And we'll do this 3 more times. Lifting up. And back down. And up. And back down. And one more time. Up. And back down. Remember to smile a little bit while you're having this done because it's fun having a hula hoop. They make a little bit of noise and it's just fun. So, just to get a little bit of an introduction of what we might be doing with these, we'll be using them a little bit later for some stretching and some twists. So it does make a difference. I believe you maybe lift a little higher, but I definitely felt a difference when I started using the hula hoop with doing some of the breathing. So let's put those away for now. So coming back to this, so we gather fuel for our body through the air that we breathe, which we did the breathing. We also get it by the food we eat if we're making good choices, and the fluids we drink, making sure to stay hydrated with plenty of water. When we sleep, it's a time for our body to restore our nervous system and allow our cells to grow. And as we age, our bodies naturally slow down and cellular processes begin to change. But we can directly influence these changes by intentionally gathering energy from our surroundings. By connecting, and that's my word for the year, I've been sticking with it for 4 months now, going on 5, connecting our mind, our heart, and our body and our spirit with nature. So the next thing we're going to think about our mind. So I'd like to ask you to come to your mat and come to a comfortable position, and we're going to do just a little bit of meditation. Whatever is comfortable for you. Letting yourself relax, checking in with yourself, softening some of the tension you may be holding in yourself, whether it be in your arms, in your jaw, in your legs. Closing your eyes if you're comfortable with that. I'd like you to think about what you truly love to do. Not what you have to do, but what you truly love to do. For some of us, it might be cooking, it might be singing or playing an instrument, it might be playing sports, it might be spending time with family, friends, a certain pet that gives you much joy. But think about what you love to do. And you can either make a mental or a written list of 10 things you love to do. We're going to stick with 10 because most of us have 10 fingers here. And you can think of 10 things, one for each finger, of things that you love to do. Taking that time now. Going through the finger taps. Thinking of 10 things that you love to do. And how they make you feel. Maybe thinking about how long it's been since you've done one of these things. Maybe there are things that you do on a warm, sunny day. Maybe there's things you do on a cold winter's day. Maybe you do them inside. Maybe it's outside. Maybe it's alone. Maybe it's with a group of friends. Maybe it's with one special friend. Maybe it's with a community like your church family. Ten things that you love to do. Now, I'd like you to think about sorting them out to one hand. So you have 5 things. Pick your top 5. And maybe these could be things that you can do, keeping with the theme of 5, in 5 minutes or less. And maybe this activity is free. So if you have 5 items that you can do in 5 minutes or less, and they're free, circle them visually with your eyes or tap them over to one hand, keeping them at your hands ready. Taking just a little more quiet time to sort out those 5 things. Now I'd like you to think about a plan to initiate doing at least one of these 5 things sometime very soon. And remembering that when you do the things that you love, it gives you energy for your body. So letting yourself come back. Hopefully you had some time to think about these 5 things. Hopefully you have them in your right hand or your left hand, whichever one of yours is dominant. And I hope you will take time to do one of these in the upcoming week, and maybe do all of them, and maybe start today. So bringing you back, coming back from the meditation, if you would meet me in a standing position again. One of the other ways that's so important to do every day is sun exposure, is to connect with the early morning sun. I don't know how many of you actually go outside every morning soon after awakening to kind of get a feel for the day, take that air in, feel a little bit of that sunshine. I know Fred and Alistair are out every day no matter what. Usually by 7:30 they're out the door. So I hope you all have time to connect with the early morning sun. And with that in mind, we're going to do the slow sun salutation that we've learned and done several times. So let's meet together in mountain pose. So in mountain pose, feet are about hip distance apart. We're going to come together with hands to chest. And we're going to slowly raise those hands up to tall mountain. And now we're going to pretend to be drawing a circle on the ceiling with our waist and our arms. Drawing a circle. Just loosening up here. And when you feel that you've drawn your circle enough to the right or to the left, then go the opposite direction. Coming back to stillness here. And stand tall and reach those arms up a little higher, grounding your feet into your mat. Grounding is also very important. Grounding your feet into your mat. Lifting that right arm a little higher, the left arm a little higher. And if you can, a little bit of smile if you feel that sun on your face. Letting your fingers meet together, interlacing the fingers, and turning the knuckles toward the head. We're going to take a bend to the right and feel the stretch along the left side and how the right side is being compressed. Coming back up to center. For just a moment, stretching those hands toward the ceiling again and taking a bend to the left. And once again, feeling what that feels like, having that to the left. Coming back up. We're going to stretch our hands up to the sky and slowly and deliberately bring our hands down along beside us, noticing how it feels, and see if you can feel that little bit of energy created just by that movement. I know I can feel it in my hands. Energy in yoga is called prana, P-R-A-N-A, prana. Just letting the hands come down, and once again we return to this mountain position. And we're going to slowly bend forward into a forward fold, and intentionally going extra slow, letting our shoulders open up and come to the front, and feeling those vertebrae go down one at a time, nice and slow, and letting that head hang heavy. A good extension on the neck. It's like a natural traction for the neck when the head puts the gravity on. And when you let yourself, when you feel that you've gone as far as you are able, let your legs soften and give yourself a movement in the shoulders from side to side. And let your arms be loose and do the circles, just like egg beater circles from side to side, going in one direction and then the other. And then letting that head hang slowly, doing any other adjustments you may need. And then coming back up, slow and deliberate. I'm going to take a turn so I'm facing the other side of the mat. And we're going to let ourselves come back down. The hands come to the mat, and we're going to let our left knee go back. The left knee comes to the mat. If you need to put a blanket there to soothe your knees, you can do that to cushion it. And then bring your foot, adjust your foot so it's up by your hands, and let your body rock forward and back. And side to side. You should be looking out in front of you. And if you feel a smile start to happen, let that happen as well. And then just hold this pose. Remembering to breathe in deep. We're going to step that right foot back to meet the left. Tuck our toes and come up to down dog. In down dog, we're going to do some rocking forward and back to loosen up here. And also from side to side. And then let yourself come to stillness in down dog. From down dog, we're going to shift forward towards a plank position. And let your knees come to the mat. Your chest come to the mat. And your chin come to the mat. And let your body acclimate to those movements. adjusting from side to side. Take a breath in. Arch your back and come up to cobra position. Take a turn to the right. Back to center. And to the left. To the right. Center. And back. To the left. Returning to center. And let yourself come down for just a moment. From here, we're going to tuck toes again. Push up. Coming back to down dog. Holding the down dog strong. If you feel you still have to move to loosen up, go ahead. This time, the right knee comes to the mat, and the left comes up with the hands. And once again, we're going to stretch through this lunge by walking forward and back, and from side to side, loosening up. And when you feel that you're loosened, you can just hold this pose. Breathing in and out. This is a good pose to get some nice breaths in. We're going to tuck that right toe, step it up forward with our left, come into a forward fold. Let our head hang heavy here. And slowly, once again, rise up. Coming back to that mountain position. Hands to heart center. Then we extend those hands up to the sun and let ourselves, if you're comfortable with your back, arch back and head goes back. Breathing in and out, letting yourself move from side to side if that feels good. Or if you need to put your hands back on your back to help support the lumbar spine. Whatever feels good. This is for you and your body. Hands meet together. Bring your hands to chest. And you've all just said good morning to the sun. And you're set with a charged battery for your morning day. So the next thing, I'll get myself together again. We'll be connecting our body with the rest of the yoga moves in a little bit. Our spirit will bring together with some prayer, devotions, and music. And the grounding that I mentioned too, that has to do with community and bringing yourself together with people with similar interests as you is very important to share that, whether it be through groups. I know there are ways to do it in this time of pandemic with social groups on Facebook with similar things, whether it be knitting or painting or reading a certain author's book. There's ways to reach out. Church time is a great time to do that as well, and the things that your church offers, just like this yoga class. But what to remember, that any changes that you're able to make in a new way of being is the result of the fullness of nature. And if I can say, even connecting with nature and unfolding to its full potential. So any changes that you make into a new way of being is the result of the fullness of nature unfolding to its full potential. I do have two other things I'd like to share with you. I discovered a fascinating Netflix series that I watched last night, and it is called Life in Color, and it's put on by the BBC, and it's a documentary about colors and how they're seen in nature, and how the birds and the fish are able to see different colors than we do. And I just found it very, very fascinating, and I wanted to share it with you. So it is called, Fred, tell me again?
Life in Color.
Life in Colors on Netflix. And one of the things that I also talk about is going on nature walk and forest bathing. And if you can think of the smells of the forest, if you just take a moment, can you recall in your senses what the forest smells like? The smells of the forest are an essential part of why we feel so good there. But there is something else in the air that is said to make us feel better when we are in nature, and which we actually can't smell. And that is negative air ions. So you can't see them, you can't smell them, but they're there, just like God. And I also read that when you go to the beach or a lake, the water itself, the bodies of water, give off similar negative ions that are beneficial for us. So if you need to get a drink, please get a drink. Meet me back at the mat. If you have a hula hoop, grab it, and we'll move on with today's class. Okay, we're going to bring the hoop over us, and we're going to hold on to it with the hands by our side. Well, actually, let's put the hands on like an outside, like you were going to flip your hands towards you. So my hands are holding it, like I have my hands out, and they're holding it with the thumb, like this. And we're just going to do a lift up and flip back. That's working a different part of our arm. So we'll just do 5 of these. Now just bring the hoop up and over. And we're going to hold it in front of us again. And we're just going to turn that hoop and turn it to our right. But turn as far as you can. Now I found I could turn much farther with the hoop than without the hoop. And hold that twist there. Coming back to center. And doing a hoop turn to your left. And back to center. Now we're going to take the hoops over us again and put them down on the mat. And just have a seat inside of your hoop. We are inside our hoop. We're going to continue to warm up, even though that sun salutation in more ways than one is a good warm up. We're going to work on our eyes here. So we're going to sit in a comfortable position, good posture, and gently let your eyes close if you're comfortable with that. Let them closed. And now let them gently open. Let's take a gaze up to in the right corner of the room or area that you're in. And have your gaze look up there. And now take your gaze down to the left side corner of the room at the bottom. And returning to center. Look up to the left corner of the upper room where you are. And And now bring it down to the right corner of the room on the floor. Returning them to center, and if you're comfortable, closing them for another 20 seconds. And then letting your eyes open up again. We're going to bring our chin to chest. Return to center. If you're comfortable with bringing your head back, go ahead and look up. And back towards center. Right ear towards your left shoulder. You don't need to touch, just give it a tilt. Right ear towards right shoulder. And back to center. Left ear towards left shoulder. And back to center. We're going to warm up our shoulders here by rolling them back. 5 back. I'm at 3, 4, and 5. And then rolling them forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. We're going to put our arms out in front of us. Bring them across and give yourself a hug. And let's open them up, extend them to the side, and take them back a little bit. And let's do this at your own pace for 4 more times, alternating the arm that's on top. Remembering to stretch back a little bit more when you open them up. And that should be 5. And from here, we're going to, let's do our arms up, and let's do a bend to the right. And coming up, and a bend to the left, and coming up. Left hand on right knee, your right arm comes behind, and give a look over that right shoulder. Returning to center. And the same thing, right hand on left knee, left arm goes around and take a twist around.